Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. As of this morning, we can now confirm more details from yesterday's homicide. Yesterday morning, at approximately 11:10 a.m., Red Deer RCMP responded to a 911 call of an assault in progress at the Village Mall walk-in clinic. On scene, we found a male victim suffering life-threatening injuries. The victim later passed away at the hospital. I can now confirm the victim was 45-year-old Dr. Walter Reynolds, a Red Deer physician. 54-year-old Deng Mabor of Red Deer was arrested on scene and faces numerous charges, including first-degree murder, assault with a weapon, and assault of a police officer. This was not a random attack and was targeted. I want to recognize the many individuals who demonstrated bravery yesterday. Dr. Reynolds' colleagues, as well as members of the public in the clinic, acted quickly to come to the aid of the victim and to minimize harm to others. Our first responders, both RCMP and emergency services, were on the scene within minutes of receiving the call. A number of agencies have been involved in responding to this incident. Both the North and South Major Crime Unit divisions have come to Red Deer. Forensics, and there are a number of other special sections of the RCMP that have contributed to this investigation as well. City Emergency Operations sent a city bus to the scene within minutes to transport witnesses to the attachment for interviews. Our community is reeling from this tragic event. We encourage everyone involved, the witnesses, first responders, and family and friends and colleagues of Dr. Reynolds to reach out to our victim services at 403-306-2345 for support during this difficult time. I will now take a few questions from the members of the media.
What do you mean by the fact that this was a targeted attack?
Well, just through the charge of first-degree murder means that it was premeditated. So there was the individual went in with a goal, and so it wasn't a random attack. The individual went into the clinic for that purpose.
Did they know the doctor?
They knew each other through the clinic, yes.
Have there been problems with them at the clinic before?
We have received no reports at all from that clinic.
So there's no other charges? I was looking at one of the charges on the accused in this case, and it was
right.
Assault. I thought it was perhaps on another position, another time?
Yeah, no, it was all those charges were what came from yesterday.
Was the suspect known to police?
No, he was not.
Where did the charge of assault against a police officer come from? Tell me about what happened there.
I can't get into too much details, but that's initially when our police officer responded. He was hit with a blunt object. That's where the charge of assault police officer comes into.
And is that officer, how is that officer doing?
The officer is physically fine. He's sore, obviously, from being hit, but no major injuries. Obviously, he's struggling emotionally with what happened yesterday, so that officer is at home recovering.
Can you confirm the weapons that were used in this event, this incident?
I cannot confirm the weapons at this time because that is something that will come out during the court process.
Is there a motive that you can tell us?
Yes, there is, but again, that is something that needs to come out through the court process and not right at this time. So we have to ensure that the individual receives a fair trial.
Do you know when he will be in court?
There is another appearance tomorrow, and then beyond that, we don't know what the dates it will be.
The one charge, is he from Red Deer, and do we know his age?
Yes, he is 54 years old, and he is from Red Deer.
It's a pretty short drive from here to the clinic where this happened. Can you give us a bit of a timeline of how quickly officers were dispatched and like what happened in terms of them getting there and not being able to save the doctor's life?
Yeah. So we actually have two offices in Red Deer, one in the north and one in the south. So most of the responding officers would have come from the north area. What I can say is that from the time the call was received, our first police officer arrived on scene within 2 to 3 minutes, and within 5 minutes, we had the male in custody.
Can you say about the events leading up to the attack?
So-
What transpired leading up to the attack? I know you can't release more of this one. Is there anything more? Did you come to the clinic prior and leave?
I'm not aware of that, no.
Do you have any further details in terms of how many people were in the clinic at the time?
I believe there were approximately 13 people. I don't know if that's total, if there's just patients or total staff and patients.
How are the other doctor and police officer doing?
I'm not sure how the doctors are doing. I can imagine they are quite emotional and grieving. That's a colleague they've worked with obviously for years. We have some police officers that are struggling with the event from yesterday. We have a number of police officers that are going to be off and won't be able to work for a little while because we need to make sure that we take care of them mentally, not just physically.
Sorry, I should have been clearer. I meant the other two who were assaulted yesterday. How are they doing in terms of their injuries?
Okay, so the police officer that was assaulted had very minor physical injuries, so he is recovering well from his injury. And then the other doctor wasn't actually physically harmed.
Is there any history of assault with this suspect?
We have no history from this individual.
Anything else you want to say to the community that is in mourning right now?
Again, I said it. I started yesterday. This is a difficult time. I do want to reassure the public that they are safe. This was not a random attack. This was targeted. We have the individual in jail. Grieving is going to be important, whether you knew the person or not, whether you attended that clinic or not. This is a difficult time for everybody. It's not abnormal to grieve. It's normal. So don't fight it. Please, by all means, reach out to your friends, reach out to your doctor, reach out to our victim services. That's why we're here. We can help out as well. So I provided the number earlier. Again, I strongly encourage you, even if you weren't there and you're just at home and you're hearing about this and you're struggling with it, by all means, please contact our victim services.
How do you sort of put into words what this incident has sort of done to the community at this point? It just seems so random and strange. And like, have you ever seen anything like it, where it's just like a random attack in an actual examination?
I have never seen that. 20 or 7 years policing, I've never seen a doctor attacked like that. There are incidents we will see in the emergency room, but they're usually pretty minor. What the community is going through, I would imagine it's sheer shock that this could happen to a doctor that's working in the community and providing services to people, especially at our front line during COVID. And for this to happen would be again, the word shocking always just is the one that comes to my forefront.
Oh, can we get the spelling of the accused?
Yes.
Name, please?
A media release will be issued to you right now, and you'll have the spelling.
What would you say to the doctors that you just mentioned? You've never seen this in 27 years. We've spoken to doctors who are saying, like, well, what do we do now? Do we revise security protocols in our clinics? Because, so far they've dealt with issues of patients being angry, but obviously nothing like this.
Right. This, we just can't overreact to situations too. This is devastating. There's no doubt about it. But this is also not the norm. What I can suggest is they can certainly reach out to our community policing unit. We can certainly help out with crime prevention through environmental design. We can help them with that and get through that process. If they want to enhance some of their security protocols, we can certainly help out and give them some guidance in that area.
Any idea how much longer the clinic will be crime scene?
I don't know. No.
And is there any sense of a history with any kind of mental illness with the suspect?
We don't have that, no.
Anything more you can tell us about how they knew each other, each patient, or did he used to work there?
I can't confirm whether or not he was a patient there. That's a doctor-client privilege I won't get into, but the suspect and Dr. Reynolds knew each other through the clinic. Okay.
Can
There-
you say how long they knew each other?
I don't know. Okay, if there's,
We understand that the doctor, his father, his husband, do you have any of those details as far as, you know, who this man was?
it's my understanding he certainly was a father, a husband, a father of 2 young children. So I don't know much more details about him.